Sorry, I'm just thinking about editing this.
Yeah, fuck off, Kathy. There you go. Shittiest episode ever to edit. You're welcome. Welcome to Stargatesing, a Stargate gazing podcast. I'm your host, Mary.
And I'm your other host, Kathy.
And each week we review an episode of Stargate alternating between SG-1 and Atlantis. Hello.
How are we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I heard you fell into some Outlook.
I did. I was trying to save my notes for the episode, and I accidentally opened my work email. And then I have a compulsion to actually check my work email if I accidentally open my work email, and then that delayed me by almost 20 minutes. Apologies.
Not good.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Sure. As usual, when we say that, it's because everything's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. It's all fine.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Also, I haven't spent the entire afternoon drinking, so everything's fine.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It is fine then, yeah.
It's all fine. It's all fine.
So good.
How are you today?
I'm all right. I went to work. Wasn't very excited.
I didn't.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes. Which is why I spent the entire afternoon drinking, or not, as I may have claimed earlier. Boo! Working all day is bad.
Yeah, it was dumb.
That is dumb. I just realized I misnumbered this episode. It is 2:39, even though I may have called it 2:40 in this recording.
Uh-oh. We might as well just give up then.
Give up now. It's so many episodes. We've done so many episodes.
Podcast done.
Podcast over.
Thank you so much for listening to Stargatesing with Kathy and Mary.
You might as well just go drink again.
I am still drinking currently. I have a Snappy from 12%
Interesting.
Beer Project.
Snappy.
Yeah. It's delicious. It's a lager. You probably wouldn't like it. It doesn't taste too much like cat pee. You might be okay with it.
Yeah, lagers are hit or miss for me, so yeah.
Yeah. It's not too Pilsnery.
That's important.
Right. You'd probably find it tolerable, but I don't think you would
Fair.
like it.
That's how I feel about most people.
Right. Right? Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
That's how I found my email to be. Most of them were like stupid things that I didn't care about, but then there were a couple things that I was like, oh, okay. This is an email that I want to respond to, and I'm happy to hear about.
Yeah.
But most of it was garbage.
Yeah.
And there were a few things that I'm like, I'm not even going to read this right now. No, I don't care.
That's good, because you don't have to, because you're not working.
I am not on contract right now.
Yeah.
And also because of stupid things, we're technically not on contract until maybe December. I don't know. Garbage union things. And by garbage union things, I don't mean garbage union things. I mean garbage union things, as in like our union is trying to bargain on our behalf and the management is being garbage. That's what I mean by garbage union things. Yeah. Like we're off contract as of like July and it is August and we might not have a contract until December. And that's what I mean by garbage union things.
Ah! Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean by garbage
I
union
hear
things.
that.
But maybe someday we'll have a contract again.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to have a level of job security and not have to worry about going on strike.
That's very important.
Yeah. Strike would be a last resort, though. Everything's fine. It's fine.
Everything's okay. Do you know where else everything is just fine? Everyone's happy and they love Lucius.
I didn't like this episode, spoiler alert, because it reminded me of Trump. And
oh no.
Not that I like to say that name on this podcast, but this person, Lucius, reminded me very much of a certain cult of MAGA, and I hated it. And
fair.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't pull that thread, but I hear you.
Well, just everyone loved him for no reason.
That's true.
So that's why it reminded me of that.
That's true.
He was an idiot, and people liked him just because. So here we are. And also, he liked to hit on the ladies and was disgusting. And that also reminded me of Trump.
Yes. Not just...
We can cut out the names if we want to, or not. Whatever. I'll leave it up to you and Greffrey since you're doing most of the editing these days.
This episode is Stargate Atlantis Season 3, Episode 3, Irresistible.
Yeah. I found him not irresistible, but also I wasn't drinking certain things, or I wasn't
You were
around
absorbing his
whatever.
pheromones
Anyway,
or whatever.
I wasn't close enough to be exposed to pheromones.
Right,
sure.
right.
Yes.
It's the newest TV innovation, pheromones through the TV. We've been waiting for smell-o-vision since I was a kid, and we still don't have that.
We have.
So,
yeah, no, pheromonovision seems like it would be just vile.
Yeah.
That's gross. Yeah. Yeah.
We start in a puddle jumper with Team Shart. They're
do.
on an alien planet talking to one another. We immediately notice that Shepard is sneezing and sniffling. He says it's just a cold, and it
gross.
was gross. And they're trapped in that little space with him. They're all going to get
He
sick.
kept coughing into his fucking hand instead of his elbow, and then he was touching
Yep.
stuff.
Yep. Shepard's gross.
Anything he touches means that anyone else that touches it after him is going to catch the same illness,
Yeah.
most likely. I was annoyed.
But this is all, it's just a cold, no big deal, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
In addition to Shepard having a cold, we learn about a plan Rodney has to make travel between Pegasus and Earth easier. They are looking for stargates on uninhabited planets so they can then make a chain of them in the space between the two galaxies. So instead of having to fly a ship for weeks, they'll jump gate to gate to gate to gate to get from one galaxy to the other.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. So that's what they're doing. They're checking out this planet because they were hoping to take this gate, but turns out there's people on this planet.
I did like it that Rodney very quietly credited Sam with this
Yeah.
after he outlined the plan. I thought that was pretty
Pretty
great.
funny.
It was Sam's idea.
They eventually land and go to a village that's a lot cleaner than most of the villages we see.
It is. They had such brightly colored clothing, which I
Yeah.
did appreciate.
I also listened to the DVD commentary for this episode for a different reason, but they said this was an interior set. So they just had a bunch of bright lights shining down.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and there was no mud because it's a stone floor. So just a clean, shiny, colorful village.
Yes. And so many courses.
Yes.
And so many bustiers.
Indeed. Rodney doesn't want to be there. He's like, let's just go and then get out of here. But then he sees a pretty lady and he's like, well, now we should stay. We should probably make contact with the locals some more, huh? Nothing new from Rodney there. They're thinking about talking to these ladies some more when a guy comes up. Not just any guy, Richard Kind,
I want to know everything that's wrong with me.
who is playing the character of Lucius in this episode.
Yeah. The worst version of Richard Kind, really.
Yeah.
Because often I like him, as I mentioned before, but he was
Yes.
awful. Just the character was
Yes. But here he is, jovial, welcoming Team Shart to the village. The people around him are so excited he is there. They're like, we've missed you. He's like, I was just out for a walk. What are you doing? But now I'm here, so now I can meet these new people. And by the way, you guys, did you meet my wife, Willa? She's beautiful, huh? And those other beautiful ladies behind me, they're also my wives. I have all the wives.
No judgment on having multiple wives if it's an egalitarian relationship, but that is definitely not what is happening
No,
here.
I would in fact call it rape, sexual
Gross?
assault. Yeah.
Oh, also
Yes.
that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they weren't in their right minds, and it's disgusting, and I hated it.
Yes. So he is completely disgusting, but we don't know that yet.
Yes.
I mean, we
Right.
kind of know it because Shepard introduces them all, and Lucius immediately focuses on Taylor because Taylor is gorgeous, of course.
Right, of course.
But he's creepy and gross about it.
Right, which is what I hated so much about
Yep.
this episode. And which is what reminded me of Trump, because he's just like, oh, female character who's attractive. At least he didn't put his hands on her.
Yeah.
But that was all he could focus on, and all he could talk about was how attractive he was. And that's what drove me absolutely insane. And again, this was before I had even started drinking today.
Yeah.
And it's just a no. It's not a compliment if that is all you can focus on is how attractive somebody is. That is not a compliment.
Yeah.
That is just all you can say about my value is my appearance is all that matters. And no, that is not a compliment. Fuck off.
Yeah. To the point where basically he's trying to ask her out to lunch, and he seems to have completely forgotten the rest of them are there. Because when Rodney's like, we don't even know your name, he like looks really surprised to see Rodney standing there. But then they start laughing at Rodney because how could they not know Lucius? He starts laughing, the whole village starts laughing, and they're like, what do you mean? You've never heard of him. He's the wisest and kindest among the stars.
And the grossest.
Yes. And he's like, well, you can't prove that. You haven't met everybody, have you? So he's like, all right, guys, we're going to go have some lunch. Then we get credits while they're getting into their lunch places. I don't know. Anyway, it's credits.
I do like lunch. It is credits. After credits, Lucius is talking about how much he loves architecture. He doesn't really understand it. He just loves it. And is Taylor taken yet? Also gross, fuck off, and I hated it. Yep. Because she can speak for herself, I am sure, and she can say whether or not she is taken. He doesn't need to be asking Shepard whether or not she's taken. Taylor herself could speak up for whether or not she's taken. And also, she's not taken. She could agree to be in a relationship with someone else and be off the market because she has agreed to be off the market, not because she is taken off the market. I hated it. I just hated this episode. It was terrible.
Preach, sister, preach.
Lucius just went on about how she's definitely wife material, gotta love a woman with a spirit, and she's got a great body. And not surprisingly, Taylor looked very insulted by all of this because Taylor actually is smart and has many other good attributes about her besides her appearance. Her appearance, admittedly, is amazing, but that is not her only positive attribute. She is also a very strong and independent person. And Rodney at some point does pardon his ignorance, but what is even happening on this planet, though? What is going on here? Basically, is what he wants to know. And Lucius says that he has gifts. Shepard wants to know what those gifts are. Lucius says that they are things like exploration and alchemy and medicine. He's got the best ointments. He's got the best ointments and the best words. He knows all the best things. He's good. It's just the best. And he could just take care of everything. Shepard like sneezes or coughs or something, and Lucius could take care of that too, but Shepard says it's just a cold. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Lucius says that he's sure he's got a potion that could get rid of whatever is wrong with Shepard in 6 or 7 days, because that's not at all a bullshit promise that you could get rid of a cold in 6 or 7 days with your promise of a potion, that most colds go away in 6 or 7 days anyway, so that's a fucking fake potion, Lucius. Fuck off. I hate this episode. Sorry, even if I wasn't drinking so many beers today, I'd still be angry about this episode. Everything's fine.
It is so fine.
Lucius wants to do trade. He wants a puddle jumper. Or maybe just Shepard's hair product. Shepard wants nothing to do with that, so they're gonna leave. They're running late for the thing. McKay asks, what thing? And Shepard's like, the important thing. Taylor's like, yes, the thing. We gotta go. Okay, everyone's gonna go. Lucius is very upset that they have to go, but they haven't even had their second course yet. And don't you want to see some of my medicines? But no, they want to get the hell out of there, which is very understandable because this place is creepy as hell. Get the fuck out of there. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to go. Lucius does tell everybody who is trying to prevent them from leaving at this point to let them go. They're all friends here, right? Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Just let them go. It's all fine. Yeah. They'll talk about trade a bit later on. Maybe later today. That would be great. And Shepard says maybe. Okay, so it's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's great.
Yeah, everything's fine. And that's it.
Yep.
So Team Short tries to get the fuck out of there. And Lucius sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we're back on Atlantis, so good job getting out of there. They're talking about Lucius to Weir, Shepard and Rodney are. And they're kind of arguing, like, we didn't really like him. He's pretty obnoxious. But Rodney says the townspeople really like him, so maybe he has good medicine after all. Who knows? But Shepard says he sounds like a snake oil salesman. Good instinct, Shepard.
Right?
But even so, maybe we'll have Beckett check it out, because he'll know if there's anything to this. So Weir says, all right, sounds good. We'll send Beckett there. Meanwhile, they're going to continue looking for more Stargates, because that's all Rodney wants to do, is find Stargates.
It's a good plan.
It is a good plan. Sam's plan.
Yeah. Of course it's a good plan if it's Sam's
Yeah.
plan.
And then we are back on Lucius's planet. Dr. Beckett has gone to see Lucius in his, I don't know if it's a home, an office, a shop, a lab, whatever it is.
My home? Slimy! My home this is!
I don't know.
Lucius has jars and bottles of things and stuff all around.
Apothecary?
Ah. He's explaining where he got his herbs from. He does a lot of off-world excursioning, and that's where they come from. And he's concocted remedies, he says, for almost every known ailment. Beckett
We babies.
is a little bit skeptical of this because that's insane. But he says, no, every ailment in town. That's all I meant. Just this town.
Just the town.
And this episode is terrible and problematic, but there's some of it is still funny anyway, when he's like, the sick have been cured, the lame can walk again. And then he's like, well, some still crawl, but they crawl a lot faster than they used to. So it has some good lines and stuff in there. I really like, and I think the regular actors had a ball playing against Lucius, but yeah, anyway. Then Lucius is like, I love it when people come and get help from me, and, you know, everyone comes, the young, the old, women. And then he gets real creepy, and he's like, do you like women, Dr. Beckett? And Beckett's like, yes. And he's
Who the fuck cares? What if he didn't?
yeah. So then he offers Beckett a potion that has them lined up around the square waiting to be with you. And he's like, you know what I mean by that, huh?
Nuts, no, I mean, say no more.
It's gross. He's just gross.
It is gross. Yeah, it's very, very gross.
Yeah. So he offers that potion for everything that Beckett has in his bag right now. And Beckett's like, but I thought you cured everything. And Lucius is like, just the ailments in town. Remember I said that? So maybe I need that for the other ailments I come across. But Beckett says no. He can't do that. So Lucius is like, all right, come on. I'm going to come feed you then. And they head off to eat again. Or Lucius is eating again. Beckett's eating for the first time there.
And then we're back on Atlantis. And Shepard is back there. Weir wants to know how things went. They found an unused gate in orbit over, I think this was a different planet that he was talking about.
I do believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So M3R428, some random planet. They were talking about how they're never going to meet their quota at this rate, and it's Rodney's random quota. When Shepard asks what quota, Rodney's there, and he's like, well, it's my quota. So it's just a random quota that Rodney has set for reasons. So they're just trying to basically find whatever random gates they can so that they can plant them at different planets along the way. And Shepard asks if Beckett brought back anything worthwhile, but Beckett hasn't come back yet. He's still on the planet. And he's found something of interest there. Then we're back on the planet with Beckett. And unfortunately, also Lucius, who is telling some random story about a baby that was frozen solid like a statue that he found. It was frozen in a lake, and he held it to his chest, and he brought it back to life. And it was fine when he held it to his chest and made it warm again. And it was the same kid that was pumping water and seemed a little bit not quite right.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was fine. Everything's fine. And everyone was in awe over Lucius's skills in bringing back this baby that was apparently freezing to death in this lake. Which I think, as we've mentioned in this show, a saying in emergency medical care is you're not dead until you're warm and dead. So,
Yeah.
yes, it's not completely shocking that he would be able to bring back a hypothermic baby by holding it to his chest and warming it back up.
Do you think he made the story up, or do you think it's someone else's story and he took it? I don't know if I believe he did that.
I feel like it could be either one. I think it could be very plausible that the kid was freezing to death in a lake, but yeah, it's not necessarily his. It could very well be anyone else's. If it was, in fact, the person that he was talking about, the person did seem to have some issue of some sort. They could have been born with it, though. It might not have had anything to do with being submerged in cold water for any length of time. So yeah, it's unknowable. Unknowable. I think he's full of shit. So yeah, I don't think it's a true story. No, I don't think it's a true story. Long story short, I think it is a stolen story or he is just making shit up about this person for reasons. Yeah. He is telling this story to the entire village, and Beckett is there in the crowd of people just completely enthralled at this point, which is weird given the fact that Beckett is a doctor, and you wouldn't think that he would be this fascinated by a story of saving somebody from hypothermia, but he is.
Yep.
And yep. So after everybody else kind of disperses, Lucius talks to Beckett aside at the end and asks if he knows more about those flying ships that he saw the rest of the team flying around on before, and asks if they still have those. Beckett asks if he means the jumpers, and of course, yeah, we got several of those. Lucius finds that fascinating because Shepard had said he couldn't have any of them before. So Lucius wants to know more about those jumpers. And Beckett thinks he can do more than just maybe tell him about those.
Yeah. And then we're in Atlantis. Chuck Nishin is announcing a wormhole incoming, and it's Dr. Beckett's IDC. Weir is happy to have him back. She's like, it's about time. So they drop the shield. Beckett comes through, but Beckett's not alone. He brought Lucius with him.
No, you know what I'm talking about. Don't be a putz.
Lucius comes out of the gate, and he's like, wow, you were right. This place is a 10. And Weir is like, what's going on, Beckett? Why have you brought this random-ass man back to Atlantis? Lucius immediately, of course, zeroes in on how beautiful Dr. Weir is. And he's like, I'm gonna like it here. They put Lucius in some room, and they're watching him on monitors. So I think it's that same, observation room where they had Michael. She is now really, telling Beckett, what are you doing? What did you do? How could you bring him here without permission? Beckett's like, I didn't think you'd mind. It's Lucius. And she is like, what? You helped write these protocols. That means he could not just be brought here like this. But Beckett's like, he can offer us so much. He is fully on Team Lucius now. He claims that Lucius has created several medicines that are quite remarkable. Weir does not believe that. And then Beckett says he also possesses many valuable herbs, spices, and gourds. And Rodney's like, gourds? And Beckett's like, yeah, you don't know everything, despite what you think. He's going to be a powerful ally. He's a wise and kind man. Dr. Weir at that point is like, are you okay? Are you feeling all right? This doesn't seem very Beckett-y. Shepard says you're acting a little, and Weir adds smitten. But Beckett is like, I am telling you, Lucius is going to be a great ally. He's our friend. He comes in peace. And you have my word on that. So deal with it.
Oh, it's Mr. Burns. Kill it!
Later, Dr. Weir meets up with Rodney and Shepard. She asks if they think that he poses any kind of a threat. They basically think he's harmless, but a nuisance. And maybe the medicines that he is aware of, though, could be of value to them. So they think he's harmless, but that he might have some knowledge that can help them. So he could be worth keeping around, at least for now. So have Taylor and Ronan keep track of him. And meanwhile, Rodney's going to keep scouting out more gates. Shepard's going to help him out with that. And that's the plan. Yeah. So Beckett, for whatever reason, is the one in charge of giving Lucius his quarters and is fanboying out in this process. He says, if you don't like these quarters, you can have my quarters. Lucius, though, thinks these are pretty perfect, although he will check out Beckett's just to be on the safe side, just to make sure. But Lucius does seem pretty in awe of these guest quarters that he's been given. He can't want anything more than just being here, probably, except that, well, he doesn't know. He doesn't continue that sentence. But he does get the feeling that Beckett's friends don't like having him around. But Beckett's like, just give them a chance. Once they get to know you, everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. I promise. It'll be great. And that's it.
It's going to be great.
Sometime later, Lucius comes out of those quarters, and there's some guards outside. He just wanted to wander off and find something to eat. And Taylor comes up and says that guests aren't permitted to move about the city, so Lucius eyes her lecherously and grossly and is like, well, why don't you like me? Yeah, you like me, right? Everything's fine. Also, I'm just going to eyeball you, and you can be my wife, and you're such a beautiful woman. That's great. Isn't she beautiful? Everybody, she's beautiful, right? And it's disgusting. So they're going to take him off. By they, I mean Ronan, because thankfully Ronan was also there. Not that she needed necessarily protection, but Ronan kind of kept him in order a bit, at least. Although she could have kept him in order on her own.
True.
Also, but less effort for her to keep him in order when Ronan is there. I hated this episode for many reasons. Mostly because, it felt like Taylor needed protection even when she really didn't. They made it feel that way, and it was terrible, and I hated it.
Yeah.
So they're going to go off and take him to get some food, even though he deserves to basically just starve to death in his room.
Yeah. Then we're in Weir's office, where Beckett is still trying to convince Dr. Weir that Lucius is going to be their bestest pal. He is like, just listen to him. Weir is like, I am very concerned about your excessive interest in this man. And Beckett doesn't understand why she's so hostile about him. He apologizes for breaking protocol, but can we just move past that? Come on. It's just a little mistake. He only made a little mistake. We don't want to alienate this ally. So she is going to have Lucius brought to her office to have a chat. We then get a quick scene of Lucius looking at himself in the mirror while he practices greeting Weir. Then we see him take a small vial out of his bag that he brought with him and drinks the clear liquid contents inside before he goes to see Dr. Weir. And then he's there with her in her office, bringing her a gourd with a candle in it.
No one's ever brought me a gourd with a candle in it, Greffrey.
I think someone's going to need to change that.
Not this time.
Someone needs a gourd with a candle in it.
No way.
I so need a gourd with a candle in it for no reason. Who doesn't want a gourd with a candle in it?
The candle, I guess it was like a homemade-y one. I was like, it doesn't look that neat, but I guess it's,
Yeah, it was a homemade candle for sure.
She accepts this gift very awkwardly. Like, she kind of fake smiles at him and thanks him for it. Because she's, at her heart, a diplomat. He talks about what it's made from, and that kind of grosses her out. The congealed tallow of an animal he killed with his bare hands, and that sort of puts her off. So she puts the gourd down like, great, thanks.
Also, I don't believe he killed any animals with his bare hands.
She tells him to have a seat, and instead of sitting behind her desk, she sits next to him, which I thought was kind of a weird choice. And the two chairs are already very close together, and he leans forwards and just takes her hand. And she is like, what's going on? What are you doing? So she stands up and then goes behind her desk. And she's like, well, it sounds like you want an alliance, so what can you bring to the table besides candles? And that's the start of their meeting, but the end of that scene.
I do like candles, but you can get them from many places besides creepy rapists.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I recommend not getting your candles from creepy rapists, in fact.
Agree. Agree. Yeah. Yeah. Elsewhere in the control room, Rodney and Shepard are basically just debating. They're still trying to gather gates from various places. They're talking about some planet. There's a small settlement on the planet. They're talking about whether it's plausible to relocate them or evacuate them and just take their gate. That doesn't seem like a good plan.
Sounds like a Rodney plan right there.
It does, yeah. Shepard specifically says we're not evacuating an entire planet so we can take their gate, but Rodney's trying to argue it's just a small
And
settlement.
it was just a bunch of children. What did they need a ZPM for?
Yeah.
On
Right?
brand
Yeah.
for Rodney.
Right. Meanwhile, technicians there like, maybe have some coffee. Stop arguing. Here's coffee. Yeah. Rodney asks where Zelenka is, but he's not there, so they're just going to keep arguing. And then we're in the mess hall, and Lucius is telling everybody a story about, I don't know, it doesn't matter, some bullshit, something, and everybody is smitten, including Weir and Ronan, which was weird to see Ronan smiling so much. Seeing Ronan smile was weird. Yeah, he was very smiley and so smitten with Lucius, who had just killed a beast or escaped from a beast or something with a beast.
Yeah.
And Taylor was smitten. Everybody now loves Lucius, including Weir, Ronan, and Taylor.
It's true.
And he had no trouble finding female companionship that night, the night of whatever conquest it is that he's talking about. And
Gross.
Many Shubs and Zools knew what it was to be roasted in the depths of the slore that day, I can tell you.
Yep, Zelenka's there also, and Zelenka is also smitten.
It's also weird to see Zelenka smile, because he's usually just being insulted by Rodney.
It's true. Zelenka's always very angry because Zelenka's always working so hard and just getting insulted by Rodney, as you said. Yeah. Yep. Very true.
I guess it's worth noting that Shepard and Rodney were there observing this.
Well, yeah, they came in at the end and observed.
Very concerned.
Yes.
So they pull Weir, Taylor, Ronan, and Beckett into Weir's office to demand to know what's going on. And they're like, what do you mean? We love Lucius. And Shepard's like, yeah, you're acting crazy, like Stepford wives. And they want to know what Lucius did to them. And Weir's like, nothing. Carson was right. We were wrong. We understand now. He's our friend. They are still very excited about all the medicines that Lucius promised them. Shepard's like, you mean they're really worth something? And Beckett's like, well, I don't know for sure, but Lucius says so it's fine, right? And Ronan gets very upset when Rodney implies that maybe they shouldn't take Lucius's word for this. Rodney's like, no, I got no problem with you, man.
I did appreciate the reference to the Stepford wives.
Yeah.
It was a weird book.
It was a
I liked
weird
it.
book. It was a creepy book.
Not a great movie. I didn't think they did a good job with the movie.
I didn't see the movie. Is that the one with Nicole,
Yeah,
the
it was
Nicole
very-
Kidman version? Yeah, I didn't
Yep.
see it.
They filmed it in Connecticut.
Oh, excellent.
Westport, I believe. Very mediocre. But the book was decent. I liked the book.
Yeah, I read that a long time ago.
Yeah, very long time ago.
Shepard says to Taylor, this is the man who asked you to be his seventh wife. And
Ugh.
Taylor is very concerned that she hopes she didn't upset him. And just her expression and the delivery I just really enjoyed, even though it's gross and creepy. They're like, you guys, Shepard, Rodney, you just haven't gotten to know Lucius yet, and maybe you should do that.
That's just too many spouses.
Yes, it is.
Even one spouse is a lot of spouses.
Yeah. It is a lot of spouses. Jeff, you're too many spouses.
I didn't say it's too many. There's a lot of spouses. But 7 is definitely way too many spouses.
It's so many people.
That's too many people. When I get divorced someday, it'll be Kathy's fault.
Yes, somehow it will be my fault.
By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Because you told Jeff that he's too much for me. On this
Yes,
podcast.
I did. And there's no way for me to make sure that never is
There's
heard.
no coming back from that.
I definitely won't hear this before Jeff does.
There's no editing it out. There's no
Nope.
coming back from it.
Well, you guys had a good run, right? All right.
We did. It's
All
been
right.
a long time. It's been a good run. It's time to go find 7 wives or something for myself. Yeah.
That's less spouse than Jeff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. I don't know. That's the takeaway from this. If Jeff and I don't work out, 7 wives is what's up next. I don't know how that works out, but somehow it does.
I hope all of you wear colorful dresses all the time. Yeah.
Thank you. And I will definitely adopt the bustier.
Excellent.
And also all those wives I have will definitely need a bustier as well.
So, this episode,
Yeah.
Muir keeps trying to convince Shepard and Rodney that this is a great idea, that Lucius has traveled a lot, he's got a lot of intelligence. And when Shepard asks if he's shared any of this intelligence, she says, not yet, but he did give me this. And she picks up that stupid gourd with the candle with a ridiculous smile on her face. And those guys are like, what the fuck? And it was entertaining, which is why he's terrible. A lot of this episode is terrible, but so much of it is still kind of funny. And if they had just taken out all the creepy rape stuff, it would be much better.
Right? I know. See, that's the whole thing. It's all of the non-consensual things that really make this. If only non-consent wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
Then it wouldn't have been an issue.
But that was the reason I watched the DVD commentary, is because I wanted to see if they addressed that at all.
Okay.
And they were, so I think it was like the director and somebody else who works on the show, and they were both just like, oh, we didn't really see it that way. We didn't think about it that way. So they just kind of like glossed right over it and just kind of,
It's
yeah.
gross.
I'm like, okay, guys.
I do, however, like that, at least from the clip that you sent me, it sounded like they also were referring to Chuck as Chuck
Yes,
Nishin,
they did. They called him Chuck Nishin.
which was delightful to me. Yeah.
So, well, I guess I'm not that clever after all, but here we are.
Yes, you are. Because you still came up with it independently.
That's true. Thank you.
Yeah. And I still find it delightful. And I love Chuck
too.
Nishin. He's a
Me
great
too.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Gourds are never not funny, too. So, you know.
Gourds are never not funny, especially when filled with a random
Tallow candle.
candle? Yeah, that's weird. Next, we're in Rodney's lab, and Shepard is talking about how things are creeping him out. And yeah, Shepard, same. Everything is creeping me out. Everything about this episode is creeping me out. They are trying to analyze the drug that Lucius keeps taking. At least that's what it seems like in this episode. And I did like that they were talking about an old episode of Batman. I absolutely loved old school Batman.
Steady, old chum.
Good stuff.
Loved it. And I am not that old, to be
Yeah.
fair. This was before my time. These were reruns, in my defense, that I was watching when I was a kid, because I was not born when these were coming out, but I loved the original series Batman, and it was one of my favorite things to be watching when I was like homesick or whatever. And they were talking about beer happened.
Ooh.
Yay, thank you.
Mwah.
The person
Mwah.
that I'm leaving for 7 Wives and Bustiers just brought me a beer and a kiss. Thank you. I love
I'm on
you.
board.
So they're talking about an episode, which I actually do remember, where Catwoman used a drug to put a spell on Batman and make him fall in love with her. And they were talking about how it's Julie Newmar in a cat outfit. And I loved this scene because I love that show so much.
Yeah.
Even though it was an awful show.
Yeah.
I just love that show.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah.
You're in good company. It's both Rodney and Shepard are clearly fans of Batman. So, yeah.
And they were also talking about Eartha Kitt as Catwoman, and then Eartha Kitt eventually went on to play Yzma.
You really should have thought of that before you became peasants.
And then I just loved everything about this scene, and they were talking about it. Anyway, I'm going to stop nerding out about Batman because they went on about this for a while, and I will go on with this all night. Yeah. So anyway, they're trying to figure out what is in this stuff that Lucius keeps drinking, because they figure out that it's like some kind of a pheromone thing that is making everybody love Lucius so much. It's got to be in whatever it is that he keeps drinking as this medicine thing. Rodney even did a little bit of investigating and some surveillance, and so they've been seeing him drinking whatever this swig of that cocktail is, the clear cocktail from the bottle that he's been drinking. So they know it's something. They've got an empty vial from his room, and so they're trying to analyze the vestiges of the liquid, but there's not really quite enough in there for them to analyze. And That's about as far as they've made it at this point. They really could have used Beckett's help on this, but it's just Rodney and Shepard at this point trying to figure this out while also talking about old school Batman.
In the control room, Lucius is learning all about their plan to bridge the two galaxies with stargates. They're looking at a specific planet on their control panel. Lucius recognizes it. He thinks it'd be a great planet. He says it's completely uninhabited. He's heard. And he's got a good feeling, so Weir's like, all right, well, then let's check it out, maybe? Shepard comes in. He's overheard their discussion, and Weir is like, all right, well, we've got a planet. Lucius says it's great, so we're gonna go. Shepard's like, pretty sure we heard there were Wraith on that planet, so maybe we don't risk our lives going there. How about that? Weir is like, well, has your intel been verified? And no, it has not. But again, there are other gates in this galaxy, so maybe we check those out first. But Weir tells him he's behind Rodney's quota. And Shepard's like, no, absolutely not. Lucius steps in and is like, hang on, it's fine, don't worry. Colonel Shepard's right. Even though there's probably no threat at all and you have all these weapons, I mean, why risk it when there could be a tiny Wraith outpost that you could probably take out with no problem? It's not worth that tiny risk. Maybe. Shepard tells him to shut up. And Weir says, I think it is worth investigating. Shepard says no, and because he is in charge of security, what he says goes. And that's his final word, and he takes off out of there. Lucius is like, oh, he must have a terrible cold. And Dr. Weir apologizes profusely for Shepard's behavior. He promises that Shepard's really a good man, even though Lucius can't see it.
And even though he coughs into his fucking hand instead of his elbow?
Yeah. The scene ends with Lucius basically vaguely threatening Shepard if he doesn't come around.
This sounds like another political
Indeed.
leader that I am aware of that threatens everyone that doesn't like him.
Yeah.
And that also womanizes everyone that he sees. See, this is why I hated this episode so much, and if it wasn't for the curtain...
No, not the curtains, lad.
So the current... The current political circumstances as they are, maybe I would not have hated this episode so much, but I did because it just reminded me of how terrible everything currently is.
Yeah.
Then we are in Rodney's lab. They're talking about how Dr. Weir wants to send a team to check out a gate at what Shepard knows to be a suspected Wraith outpost. As Lucius was saying, it's totally fine. Everything is fine. He has a good feeling about it. Everything is fine over there, but...
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
Their intelligence says, no, there's Wraith there. Don't do that. Rodney's like, yeah, is she insane? Shepard says, of course she's insane. Everybody's insane. What the hell is going on right now? Haven't you noticed everyone is absolutely crazy right now because of this Lucius person? This is insane, and she wants to send people to this planet full of Wraith. So Shepard wants to figure out what exactly is going on with Weir, with Lucius on that planet without drawing too much attention to themselves. Rodney is, of course, still working on it. He doesn't have enough liquid in that vial, as we talked about before, to really figure it out, even though he's been working on it. So they need to get more. They need to go back to Lucius's village and try to figure out where he keeps his stash and try to get a vial that has more liquid left in it so that they can do further testing on it. And hopefully that will give them a better idea of exactly what they're working with here. Shepard is going to go back to the planet that Lucius came from. Meanwhile, Rodney is going to stay behind and keep doing some testing, and also he should be disabeling the DHD as soon as Shepard leaves, not to prevent Shepard from coming back, but to prevent anybody from dialing out after Shepard leaves. Rodney agrees that he's going to do that. Shepard dials out, manages to make his way to Lucius's planet, and when he gets to the village, everyone is sick, everyone is depressed, everyone is desolate. Things are looking very, very terrible. Willa, one of Lucius's wives, is there asking where Lucius might have gone. She wants to know where he is gone. Can you bring him back? Did you take him? We're not mad, but let's just please bring him back. Everything is terrible. We're miserable. We can't do without him. It hurts us to be away from him for so long. Just everything is bad. It's very sad to see them when they were so vibrant before, and it's terrible. And I also hated this scene because it was just so sad to see these people who, for no fault of their own, are in such a terrible state because this guy sucks and has drugged them all. Yep. Helene, who's, I think, another one of his wives, or maybe just a village person. I don't know, but is another person who's there, is talking about how they just saw him for the wonderful man he truly is, and they weren't really convinced about how great he was initially. When he first came to the village, they weren't very convinced at all. In fact, they didn't really like him, but then just something about him changed, and they saw after he told them their story that he was just actually so great, and he was so much better, and they were ashamed to admit that they had misjudged him initially, and bleh.
I did
bleh.
like that the story was a sweet story about something he accidentally stepped in.
Fair.
That was pretty funny.
Yep. I did, though, hate that Willow was talking about the fact that she was ashamed to admit that she refused to share her bed more than once. Yeah. And I wanted to punch Lucius / Richard Kind in the face at this point. Because it's terrible. Yep. Shepard tells him that he's basically there just to get some more of the medicine that Lucius takes every day. So they are both very eager to go get it for him, as long as Shepard promises that he will bring Lucius back if they get that medicine for him. And yeah, Shepard's gonna promise them, yep, you get that medicine for Lucius, I'll bring him home. It'll be fine. Everything's fine.
Okay, guys.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. Next, we're back in Atlantis. Shepard has returned. He can immediately hear coming through the gate Lucius telling stories again. And it turns out he's telling those stories to an enchanted Rodney. Uh-oh. He goes up there and Lucius is bragging about having 6 wives, and Rodney, of course, is like, "You're a scoundrel." I mean, McKay is probably secretly jealous anyway because he's gross too, but not that gross.
It's true.
Rodney invites Shepard to come in to hear Lucius's hysterical story. And Shepard's like, "I thought you were going to stay away from everyone." And Rodney's like, "Well, I tried, but Lucius came to see me. He was concerned." And then he says, "Ronan held me against a wall and we had a talk and everything's great."
I thought that was very funny. I liked that part. I thought it was hilarious.
So everything's fine.
Yeah, everything is fine. All that has to happen is Ronan has to hold people against a wall to get them to agree to things.
And now I've drank the pheromones and I am on Team Lucius.
Ronan can hold me against a wall anytime.
Fair. I guess. I don't know. Shepard wants to know where Weir is, and Lucius says she's out making him something to eat, which is insane because she's in charge of this whole installation, and that's not her job.
Yes.
And Lucius is like, "Well, I don't know. She just needs to make food for me." He also says that Rodney and he are there waiting for the team to return. Turns out that in his absence, Rodney did not disable the DHD, and in fact, Ronan, Taylor, and Dr. Beckett volunteered to go to the wraith-infested planet for Lucius. Next thing we know, they're coming through the gate hot. Taylor, Ronan, and Beckett run through carrying big bags of sticks, laughing.
Also
and some grass. Yep.
Don't forget the grass clippings.
It's Lucius's herb. They're pretty happy about it. It was all very exciting. And if Beckett were in his right mind, he would not be smiling and laughing because this man does not like this exciting adventure.
This is true. Yeah, no, he does not.
And Shepard's like, "I guess we can assume there are wraith on the planet." And Taylor's like, "Yes, many." None of them would act like this, obviously, anyway, because
they would not.
Ronan never laughs and smiles, and Taylor certainly doesn't laugh and smile about wraith. So
Ronan does have quite a delightful smile though, when he does actually choose to.
Just smile more, Ronan.
Ugh, no.
Well, only because it means he's happy, not because I didn't.
Well, yes. If he's
I didn't
actually
mean like you
happy
should just
and
smile because
Yep. I hate it.
Yeah.
At my advanced age, people don't really tell me that I should just smile more so much anymore.
But
back in the day when people used to tell me, oh, you'd be prettier when you'd smile, I just wanted to punch them in the face.
I just want to tell people that I'd smile if you went away, but
also there's that.
Yeah. Shepard is very upset that they sent this team through. And Weir's like, whatever, they volunteered. And Beckett's like, and we got the herb. Everything's great. Lucius promises to tell the tale of Carson's bravery for many years to come. And he's so happy to hear that. Shepard has had it, he says, and he goes to grab for one of the bags, and Ronan pulls his gun out and tells him to stop. Everyone else has guns drawn on Shepard too. Well, not everyone, but, guards. They do not understand why Shepard is acting this way. We're just helping a friend, Weir says. And Lucius is like, I think there's something wrong to Rodney, who's like, oh. Shepard realizes that he is outnumbered and outgunned. Outnumbered, outplanned. So he is like,
outgunned, outmanned?
Outgunned, outmanned.
Outnumbered?
I said all of it.
Outplanned?
Probably that too.
So, go ahead.
So he's like, okay, you know what, guys? It's this cold. I'm just not feeling right. I'm tired. I'm gonna go. I'm sorry.
Maybe cough into your elbow instead of your fucking hand. How about that?
Yeah. Maybe you're getting what you deserve, Shepard, for, yeah.
Right?
That's basically the end of that scene. Shepard just gets out of there
fine.
and everything is fine, as Mary keeps saying. Mm-hmm. And someday it will be true.
Yes. Next, we are at one of the puddle jumpers, and they are. Did I say
you did
jumpers again? And I wasn't even meaning to this time.
It's so easy to do.
Why is that a thing?
I don't know.
They're trying to teach Lucius how to fly one of these things, and I don't know why that's a thing either. Rodney is there, and so is Beckett. They're trying to teach him how to fly. They're showing him all kinds of stuff about it. Beckett can fly it because they've given him the injection. Or no, Beckett actually naturally has the gene, but Rodney's bragging about how he can fly it because he's had the injection. And it's just absurd.
Yes.
It was very silly. I actually did like this scene. Because Rodney was talking about, he doesn't fly this thing any better than I do. Because Beckett was trying to brag about how great he is at flying this thing. And then Rodney needed the therapy, but I didn't need the therapy. I was just born with the gene, and I'm better.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It was very silly. So that keeps going on for a while, and then eventually we are back in the infirmary. Beckett is there with Shepard, and Shepard wants to have a little chat with Beckett. Shepard says that he thinks there is something wrong with him. It's just very endearing when Beckett refers to people as things like son. So Beckett says, it's all right, son. Admitting is the first step. I just thought that was adorable. I love Beckett so very much. Of course, Shepard doesn't think there's actually anything wrong with him. But Beckett's like, it's great that you finally came around. See, everybody loves Lucius. Lucius is great. And so clearly there is something very wrong with you if you don't love Lucius. But then Shepard pulls a wraith stunner on Beckett and shoots him.
Me too.
Yep.
And then in the control room, they notice the jumper bay roof is opening and there's a jumper there escaping. And they're like, who is that? Oh my God. Identify yourself, Jumper 3. Rodney tries to get Chucknition to close the door, but it is too late. The jumper is already out. And we then see in the jumper is Shepard and Beckett, whose hands are bound and is just coming to from his wraith stunner. Shepard's like, sorry, I'm taking you to the mainland and it's for your own good, I promise. On Atlantis, Weir and Lucius are discussing this situation. Weir continues to insist that things like this don't normally happen. They have protocols. Shepard's not normally like this. We don't understand. Taylor runs into them and tells them that a security officer did observe Shepard carrying Beckett to the jumper. Rodney then comes up too and reports his computer is gone, and a tablet, and 2 drives, everything he's been doing, all his research. Lucius is like, I told you, Shepard is dangerous. I am very disappointed in you right now. And Weir sincerely looks really upset about upsetting Lucius. And she's like, I'm sorry. She orders Taylor to have some other jumpers put in the air to search for Shepard and Beckett.
Find them and destroy them.
And then she's like playing with the whatever tassel neck thing that Lucius is wearing while she's like, there, I promise we'll find them. And her just acting this way is just really strange and kind of funny. So yeah, it is gross too, but like, I don't know. It's kind of funny too. But anyway, she's very sorry that this is happening. But yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're on the puddle jumping her. I don't know why that is a thing my brain does. Then we are on the puddle jumper. Beckett wants to get back, but Shepard tells him, you don't need to get back. Beckett is very convinced that Lucius needs him, and that Shepard has no right to abduct him like this. But Shepard sees it more as an intervention than an abduction, maybe a detox even. Shepard says that according to Rodney's research, the research that he was able to do before Rodney joined the Lucius fan club, at least, the liquid in the vial contained some kind of a chemical that basically acted as a pheromone. And there's something about the gamma activity in the prefrontal cortex responsible for positive emotions. Prefrontal cortex is responsible for personality, not emotions, I would like to add, but that is not what they were talking about in this episode. The emotions are really more controlled by like the amygdala and the limbic system. I am thinking, no, not limbic system.
Unix system?
Yeah, the Unix system. Pheromones. I mean, yeah, pheromones are involved with attraction, but they say that the longer that you're exposed, the worse the addiction is going to get. So basically just like a bunch of MacGuffin chemical stuff. Lucius literally has an addictive personality. It's basically the conclusion that they come to, which Shepard says, yeah, that's what it looks like. Beckett says, that's rubbish. But also Beckett is the one who is the addict. So they figure out that the reason that Shepard isn't affected is that he's got a stuffy nose, so he can't really breathe. Also, he's a garbage person because he's been coughing and sneezing all over, like, literally everybody else, and coughing into his hand, as we've talked about before, but then, like, touching everything. So, fuck off, Shepard. You should have been taking a sick day and not exposing everyone to your cold. But I guess it's fine because it kept you from falling in love with Lucius. So, moral of the story, it's fine to report to work if it means that you won't fall in love with a sociopath if you're sick.
The one exception.
The end? Yeah. So they got to figure out a way to counteract the thing that Lucius keeps drinking. There's got to be an antidote to the pheromone thing. So that's what they're going to work on.
Yeah. In another puddle jumper, I said jumper. Yeah.
You did. Good job.
But these guys, Taylor, Ronan, and Rodney, in the puddle jumper. Oh, so hard to say. They were out there along with other jumpers looking for Shepard and Beckett. Rodney is as concerned as Beckett is about being away from Lucius this long. They are not concerned about Rodney's concern for Lucius. They just want to try to find Shepard. Back with Shepard and Beckett. Beckett is finally sort of showing an interest in the research that Rodney's been doing, so he's looking at one of his tablets. But before he can talk about how he just realized something, they're surrounded by the rest of the team who capture them. Shepard asks if Ronan's gun is on stun, and Ronan says yes. And then Shepard tries to wrestle him. I don't know why. This was never going to work. So Ronan shoots him. And Rodney is annoyed because now they have to drag him all the way back to the puddle jumper. So
a very heavy weight to be dragging a pretty long distance.
It's true, but
it's a good workout.
Yeah.
Then we are in the brig, and Lucius is there, but he is not the one that is in jail. It is Shepard that is in jail. Lucius is there. Greeting, Shepard. He wants to apologize for the harsh treatment. But, they had to treat Shepard like this. Shepard asks about that herb. Yes, it's a great herb. You gotta admit that it's pretty great.
Pretty good.
Lucius started off as a baker, bread mostly, and the occasional muffin at festival time, and then he found this herb and started baking it into stuff, and then apparently he put it into his little beverage thingy, and he noticed that people started to like him, or at the very least hate him less. Eventually he perfected his little potion thing, and it was great for many, many years, and then the race set up an outpost on the only planet that he could get the herb, and couldn't go back there, but then... I wanted to call them SG-1, but then Team Shart showed up, and they were able to get the herb for him. Lucius tells Shepard that when he gets over his cold, they're going to have a long chat, face-to-face, and it's going to be great. You're going to be able to inhale all of my bullshit, B.O. Shepard tells Lucius, just don't get too close to me, and I'll be the last thing you do. And then, after much gloating, Lucius leaves.
So Lucius meets Beckett in the infirmary. Rodney and Weir are there to give moral support, I guess. Beckett gives Lucius the shot. Lucius thinks it's the ATA gene, and so hopefully he'll soon be able to fly the puddle jumpers. Yeah.
Why is that a thing? Why do we keep wanting
I don't know.
Why is it the easier thing to say than the actual
I don't
word?
know. It's very strange.
It is, right? It's not just you. It's not just me. Both of us want to say it.
I really do.
It's weird.
Beckett warns Lucius it's only effective 47% of the time. Lucius says he's naturally lucky, so the only way to know for sure is for Lucius to test it, but they have to wait about an hour, which is a good thing because this shot has made Lucius a little woozy. So they have him lay down, rest, take it easy. Rodney fawns all over Lucius. And finally, Lucius is like, sure, you can do something for me. Get me some blue Jell-O with some whipped cream. So Rodney runs off to do that.
This sounds disgusting. Jell-O with whipped cream is disgusting, and especially so with blue Jell-O with whipped cream.
Yeah, so not only does this monster want blue Jell-O with whipped cream, then he tells Weir we should talk about marriage. It's just gross. Everything's gross.
I want to step on his face.
Yeah, he does have a very steppable
like with my
face.
heel first, right in the center of his face.
He's gross. It's gross. It's terrible. Yeah. Later, they are ready for Lucius to test out his flying skills. Rodney is in the control room with Zelenka and Weir, radioing with Lucius, who is in a puddle jumper. Yeah.
Jumping her. Jumpingers.
Inertial jumpers. Beckett is with Lucius in the jumper. I did it that time. I think it's easier to say jumper when you don't have puddle in front of it. Something about puddle just really just...
Right, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. But then, surprise, Shepard is there in the jumper as well. And he's like, I'll take it from here. Lucius is like, what the hell? I thought you were in jail. Then we find out that not only does Lucius not have the ATA gene, Beckett is no longer affected by Lucius, and what he was given instead of the ATA gene was a serum that Beckett came up with to neutralize the chemical in that herb he has. So Beckett's not effective, and now they've just neutralized it in Lucius himself. Therefore, things are going to go badly for Lucius, finally. But not bad enough for me. Then we're back in the control room. Rodney is wondering what is taking so long for Lucius to take off. But then they see that it does take off. They're all very excited. Everyone in the control room runs outside to the balcony to watch what they think is Lucius flying the puddle jumper. Which the scene ends with Rodney going, "Fly, Lucius, fly," which was freaking hilarious. Lucius wants to know where Shepard is taking him, and Shepard says, "You're going to stay away just long enough for Beckett to inoculate all of our people. Then we're going to send you home, but not before we also inoculate your people." Sucks to be you, Lucius.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometime later, an interminable amount of time later, this has been like the longest fucking episode ever. Dr. Weir asks how was Lucius's homecoming, and they didn't kill him, so that's good, but also there's going to be a lot of divorces. Nobody wants him. Are there going to be any lawsuits or arrests?
I hope so.
The townspeople are over their withdrawal symptoms that they were having, so they're getting better, and they recognize Lucius for the terribleness that he is. That's good. Shepard asks, is everyone back to normal? And Weir says, yep, everybody is fine. No lingering desires, no secret longings for his touch. Pretty much episode ever. Everything's fine. They've decided everything is fine. And something about Rodney saying it's the story of his life, women not liking him at the end.
Also, Rodney took some of the thing and made Shepard go clean his quarters.
Yeah.
Sure,
whatever you said.
Rodney is also kind of gross.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kathy.
Yeah.
Kathy. My
yes,
love.
Dear.
One of my favorite people in the entire world.
Yes, dear.
Did you like this episode?
Not really. I mean, you really can't get past the many, many rapings that happen that they just gloss over without a thought. Yeah. It's gross. That it sucks too, because I think that if they had left that out, I would have been like, this is kind of an amusing episode. Because some of it was very amusing. But it's so gross. I don't know how people writing this weren't like, wow, this is problematic.
Yeah.
It's a little bit baffling. And I also think it's weird that in the previous episode, they mass murdered a bunch of people who might know where Atlantis is, while they freely let this jackass go, even though he knows where Atlantis is too. Which I just thought was a weird choice for the people of Atlantis. Yeah, there's not a lot to say about it that we haven't already covered, I guess. I think it could have been better. And it really seemed like they had a lot of fun making it. Like, the facial expressions on all of the characters being under the thrall of Lucius were great and hammy and fun. But yeah, it was very much ruined by the whole thing. How about you? I don't even know why I'm asking that question.
Yeah. It was fine watching it, but I obviously had very many thoughts. This is truly awful. This person took advantage of so many people. And that's all I'm going to say. This is awful.
Do you want to talk about what we're going to talk about next?
Okay. Next is Season 10, Episode 4, Insiders, according to TVDB. When Baal comes to Earth seeking help, Stargate Command must capture his clone and determine which one is the genuine article. Huh.
Great.
Neat. According to the booklet, Season 10, Episode 4, Insiders, the team makes a pact with an old enemy to fight their common foe, and the results are disastrous.
Disastrous, huh?
Disastrous.
Great. So a cheerful episode. Disastrous. It's always fun to see the balls.
Disastrous.
Balls. Yeah. So we've got that coming up.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Thank you so much for listening to Stargatesing with Kathy and Mary. Our fully listener-supported program couldn't be done without you. Show your support by telling everyone you know how awesome this show is. Find us at stargatesing.space. Reach us by email at stargatesing@gmail.com. Find us on social media at Blue Sky. Get some merch, tinyurl/stargatesing. And finally, show your financial support at patreon.com/stargatesing. Thank you for traveling through the gate with us. Catch you next time on Stargatesing with Kathy and Mary.
I'm Kathy.
I'm Mary.
And you've been listening to Stargatesing. The end.
The end. Surprise train wreck.